Hello traders, today is Wednesday, January 22nd, 2025. I'm going to start the video with Apple. Keep in mind this content is for educational purposes only. It is not financial advice. Okay, let's start this with Apple. Quite I guess, a nice candle coming off the 200 SMA, or very close from the 200 SMA, which is this line right here. MACD and TSI is still not looking good in my opinion. I think we still have room either to actually hit the 200 SMA or even go lower towards 215 or 216, which is this level right here. RSI is already pointing up, but I don't have my hopes up at all. We have seen this move right here, moving higher on prior sessions. This was from Tuesday the 14th into Wednesday the 15th, and then you also had the same move last week. So Apple is still in bad shape, in my opinion. It doesn't look too good. Now, are we starting to see a reversal? I think it's too soon to tell. I think we have to start. First, we have to break resistance on this key level at 225, and then we have to fill this gap. We'll see how this stock behaves today. Let's go to the 5-minute and see how this is looking. You had this push to the upside right off the gate, and then you were basically navigating the 200 SMA on the 5-minute chart. And other than that, nothing really happened. You had a little bit of an influx of buyers coming towards the end of the session, which might be a positive thing. I don't know. But again, I'm really not having any expectations yet, unless we start breaking 225 with momentum, and then we see this price gap starting to get filled. Once you get to that point, you still have a long way to go. To get into different levels. I mean, you still have a long way to go towards 237, and then you have low liquidity, which might be a little bit of a faster pace to the upside. But for now, this is not looking good at all. This is such a really, I guess, bad move to the downside, especially if you were playing Apple to the upside. That being said, let's move on to the next name, and that is AMD. And another name that still have not much expectations. Now, we had this nice move from the bottom, at least on this area, to here. Let's measure it. It would probably be like 6 to 7%. I could be wrong, could be more. But 9%, almost 10% from the bottom here up to this level. Now, again, and I think I mentioned this yesterday, you have to really move towards the 35 SMA with momentum. You have to mount this level with a little more volume. So we'll see how we behave tomorrow. Let's take a look at the 5-minute. Not too good after hours. So you had this move, and then things were looking promising here, and then you had this sell-off, and nothing really happened after, other than sellers being in control. Nothing really happened after that. So we'll see if tomorrow we mount the 35 SMA. If we get rejected, we're going back into support, and if we break support, you're probably gonna catch momentum into 111. That's what I'm thinking. Now, MACD and TSI are not looking bad, to be honest. So again, it's all about catching more volume. I think tomorrow and Friday are going to be decisive. Talking about Friday we have, we might have, I think it's on Friday, then the Bank of Japan is going to decide if they raise rates. Excuse me, if they raise rates or not. I think it's a raise rate or cut. I don't know. I don't follow that, but I know something big is happening or going on Friday, I think after hours. But anyways, other than that, we just need to catch momentum here. We need volume, and we have to mount the 35 SMA to maybe have a little bit of hopes to go into 134, 135. Okay, let's move on and talk about Bitcoin. And not looking bad, to be honest. I like the fact that it's consolidating between basically 108 or all-time highs, 110 I think it was, or 19, and 99. So far so good. Again, I'm not too worried about these candles right here. I don't think they're looking bad. I like the fact that we're starting to build more liquidity in this area right here, so the moves are not as volatile. And so we'll see how this candle is looking by tomorrow morning. But so far, it's not looking bad. MACD and TSI are losing momentum. That is another thing that is worth pointing out. The RSI is pointing down and going into the signal line. But I think if we hit this level right here at 99, you're definitely going to be somewhere around the 50 under the signal line. And in that case, you're probably going to be crossing the signal lines on the MACD and the TSI as well. But it won't be too dramatic. This doesn't look like this type of move, for example. You're still close to the zero line, and these indicators are turning more neutral than bullish or bearish at this point. Now, again, I do think that this consolidation is in my opinion, welcomed. You still have room to go all the way down to this bottom right here, to this level of support at 91. So keep that in mind. But for now, you just have to focus on this level, which is prior all-time high, 99.7. Let's call it 100. And then after that, we can reassess. Sorry, my dog is kicking the door. Now let's move on to the next name. And where are you? It's not Costco. I think Costco is gonna do well though. If I can, where is this thing? I'm sorry about this. I just can. Okay, CRM. I mentioned CRM yesterday as well. And one of the things that I like on CRM is how things are cooling down here on the MACD and the TSI. Look at the TSI right here. Look at the MACD. Look at the histogram. Look at the volume. That is looking very nice. CRM with a 1.7%. I think this has room. We mount the 35 SMA and we're probably going to break this level right here at 350. So we'll see how we behave. The RSI is also looking good. Look at this. It's right on 50 and obviously crossing the signal line in anticipation of what might happen with the TSI and the MACD. Liquidity here is not it's just normal. There's nothing unusual, and I just think that this can continue moving up. Keep an eye on this level at 35 SMA, and keep an eye on how we behave on 350. I think that is an important level of resistance. Let's move on and talk about HIMS. I still like this to the upside. So I have a small account. I mentioned this on Robinhood. I reopened my account in Robinhood just because I wanted to see how Robinhood Legend worked and the looks of it. I think it's crap, to be honest. But putting that aside, I opened that account with $500 about a week ago, or maybe sometime last week. And I bought, I think, 1 or 2 calls for HIMS. My account is right now at 700, and I think this is going to continue moving up towards at least 32, which is this area right here. So I think we have room to go towards 32 and then probably go towards 35. That would be quite interesting. MACD and TSI is not looking bad at all. So we'll see what happens here. Today, let's go to the 5-minute. It was an interesting day. I did place my, I was planning to sell today, and then I was just thinking, let's just hold it. But look at this move. I like the fact that the HIMS gives you this type of, in some instances, very obvious trade opportunities, especially for day trading. I wasn't day trading HIMS today. I actually did trade some other names. Oracle was one of them. Well, that was a swing. But let's get back. I don't want to get distracted. Sorry, I'm just a little distracted because my dog is kicking the door. But look at this. You had this nice move in the beginning of the trading session, and then you came down under this level of resistance, which is 29.7. You came into the 325 SMA. Then you were kind of navigating this indicator, and then you went up and end up closing right on top of the 200 SMA, right under this level at 29.73. It closed at 29.72. Pretty much a flat day. I think that this definitely has more room to continue going up based upon what I'm seeing on these indicators. On the lower indicators, we definitely have more room to continue going up. You're still mounting that 35 SMA. You are right on the level of resistance. You haven't mounted that, which is a bummer. But I think that we might have more room to continue going up. So HIMS is looking very nice, in my opinion. Let's take a look at Meta with 1.14% today. It wasn't enough to break this trend line, which is pretty obvious right here. It did in the beginning of the trading session, and then the sell-off started. Let's go to the 5-minute. You went to this level right here, and then after that, it was sell, sell, sell all the way down. Still managed to close at 1.14%. I think this is gonna continue going up towards new all-time highs. Earnings are coming next week on Wednesday. I think it's Wednesday after hours, I believe. Let's take a look. It should be after hours. Yes. So this is definitely gonna push. If they beat estimations, if they beat earnings, I think this is going to move very nicely. Look at the MACD and the TSI; they are neutral. They are not in a bad position. They are a little bit above the zero line, but that's totally fine. And I think a little more volume came in today. We'll see how we behave tomorrow, but I definitely have good hopes for Meta. Let's talk about Microsoft, and not a bad day for Microsoft, to be honest. This doesn't look bad at all. We finally, we have been talking about Microsoft for a while. You had this move of the trend line and then retesting, I guess, almost retesting the 325 SMA. And then you had this beautiful move. Today, it was up 4%, a monster day for Microsoft today. A beautiful day. Look at this, straight up. It might actually continue benefiting from all the announcements that Trump has made on AI, and I think NVIDIA, Microsoft, AMD, and some other companies are going to benefit from this. But again, it broke the level of resistance at 443. I think we could be well on our way towards new all-time highs. We'll see how we behave tomorrow. It would be fantastic if we actually take a little bit of a breather tomorrow and have a red day so I can actually buy calls. But as far as what I can tell, this is looking very nice. You're on top of that 35 SMA. You're on top of resistance. It was a pretty solid day for Apple. Now in this area, you don't have a lot of liquidity, especially once you go over 450, which is exactly this level right here on this candle. And let's see if we have something else. I would keep this candle. But liquidity is actually very thin once we pass 450, and if we get to that point, we are going to rally towards new all-time highs. Beautiful. Now let's take a look at NVIDIA, and another very nice day for NVIDIA. You got to this level right here, so you had this double bottom, if you want to call it. You had to this level at 130, 130. And then today you had a 4.4%. Some, I saw another YouTuber saying that NVIDIA had a bad day today. Well, let's go to a 5-minute and let me disagree. So you had this move to the upside, and then you went down to the 35 SMA, and you maintained the 35 SMA all the way to basically the end of the session. Then after hours you had a cool down, but I don't see how this could be a bad day for AMD. I'm sorry, for NVIDIA. Now it was down 1.23%. That's not bad, actually, all things considered. So I don't know. You might have a little bit of a pull back towards 140. That would be fantastic. That gives you an opportunity. I don't like the fact that we have a gap right here, but I think NVIDIA definitely has momentum to go towards 150, and beyond that, which would be 153, and then at that point you are at new time highs. You get into price discovery. MACD and TSI are actually looking very decent, and the RSI is also looking pretty good. Again, if there is a pullback towards 140, that will be welcome in my opinion. But there's definitely momentum here. Liquidity here is getting thinner as we get into the level of 150, and obviously as we get into the all-time highs area right here. Those two levels worth keeping in mind. Now let's review one of my trades. This is a trade that I bought yesterday, actually before all the news, and this is Oracle. And I'll tell you what I did. Let's go to the 1 minute. So as soon as this thing opened, look at that. And I'll get rid of this. The gap got filled. As soon as this thing opened, I knew it was going to come down. I just knew it. So I sold my entire position on this candle somewhere around the middle of the candle. I was basically chasing the exit because it was moving so fast that I couldn't actually get out. So, but I managed to get out within the first, I guess, 30 seconds or something, but it was a little bit stressful. I sold the whole position and I knew it was going to cool down. Now, that was the right decision, but you still managed to close today at 6.75%. Not a bad close. But let's go to the 1 hour chart. Wow. And let's get this. And this reminds me of something that happened to Oracle not that long ago. You had this, it was one of these moves that had, I think it was this one, that you had a very nice opening after this move, and then you went red, and then you came completely down, and then you faded away. Now you have a gap right here. Let's open this gap, and I think I said that we were going to open with a gap, which was pretty obvious. Nothing, so on this gap got filled. You don't have a gap here anymore, but you have these two gaps. We'll see what happens here. MACD and TSI, to be honest, are not looking bad, but this type of moves always make me nervous. I do think that we might have a continuation to the upside, but we might also have a pullback towards 165. But we'll see. I'm just glad that I took the opportunity to bail out of this name on time. And it was a very nice swing. This type of moves don't come very often. But again, right now I'm like 50-50, to be honest, as far as direction. I could be bullish if I'm only looking at the lower indicators on the MACD and the TSI. But the RSI is not looking too great. It's very extended at this point, even though you're still in range. But and then the candles are not looking that good. The chart itself doesn't look too good, to be honest. You had this push and then you lost momentum. You closed on a red candle, yet you had a 6.75%. So there was a lot of movement. There was a lot of volume also coming in. You have a price gap right here. It makes me a little bit nervous. I think that we might actually come down towards the 35 SMA, which is where you cover the gap. And then we'll see if you get a nice reaction to the upside. Now let's take a look at Reddit, and really trying to break this level of, well, it's already on top of resistance, but really trying to actually distance itself from what is now support at 181. We'll see what happens tomorrow. MACD and TSI are looking good, even though they are on top of the signal line, of the zero line. I wish they were under the zero line, but in this case, to be honest, they don't look too bad. Now let's hope that we maintain this level of support, and if it doesn't, it's just going to break under and maybe sit on the 35 SMA. We'll see what happened there. Nothing is being said yet, but if momentum comes in tomorrow, we're going to see a similar move to what we have seen on GEV, for example, or even Robinhood. So the setups were very similar. I like the fact that this had a nice move to the upside. It got a consolidation, which helped these indicators to cool down and get closer to the signal line, to the zero line, I'm sorry, and did the same for the RSI. Now we just have to wait on the reaction that we might get tomorrow. By Friday, we're definitely going to know direction. So this is not looking bad at all. Now let's finish the video with Tesla. And it was down 2.11%, and sitting right on 415. It closed at right on 415. Look at this right here. So we'll see how we behave. MACD and TSI, let's zoom in. Not looking too good, to be honest. We have to either rebound on this level of support at 415 or the 35 SMA. If you don't actually hold 415, you're probably going to go down towards 365 or close to that area, which would completely suck. But what else can I tell you? The reality is that this level of support has to hold tomorrow. And if it doesn't, well, it's not going to be good. Let's take a look at the 4 hour. Nothing really happened on the 4 hour or after hours. And let's take a look at the 5 minute. Look at this. So it had this rally right here, nice move on the first 5 minutes, and then it completely collapsed. It couldn't break the 325 SMA, which is this line right here, broke the 200 SMA, and after that it was just down. And you can see on this last candle, you were right under this level of what is resistance right now, I guess, right? Resistance, support. After hours, nothing really happened. We'll see how we open tomorrow. And we'll see how much momentum we can catch tomorrow. It's going to be interesting. But again, if 415 doesn't hold, you might actually find yourself on your way to 365. You know, so you have this level, you have the 35 SMA, but it's way too close to this area of support. So if it breaks supports, it's going to break the 35 SMA, in my opinion. MACD and TSI, I want to say they look not neutral, but the MACD is already, they're a little bit more in the bearish side, to be honest. You know, the histogram is catching a little bit of momentum. Maybe it's a little bit too soon to tell, but I really hope and wish, well, I don't, whatever, sellers step in, buyers step in tomorrow. But if not, again, you're going to probably move closer to 365 in a hurry. Well, my friends, this is all I have for you today, and please subscribe and like the videos, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you. Bye-bye.